What's up, everybody? I hope you are doing good. If you're here live or if you're watching the replay, good to see you. And you might think, what in the world is this guy doing? I'm in a whole different space. This is actually the front part of my office. And I was in here, I was actually preparing to sell some stuff here. So I've just been working on my resale portion of my business. And I was like, oh, I should go live and talk about that. It's been a little bit of a topic in my deal makers community. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to do a live show. However, I was way more comfortable chilling out on this couch in my office than I was going to go sit on my desk. However, I don't have all my fancy gear, my lights and cameras and all that fun stuff. So I just grabbed my Osmo Pocket 3. I grabbed like a little softbox light that I actually did a video of a while ago, and then I just picked up the MV7 Plus podcast kit that Shore sent me a while ago. This thing is pretty awesome, and hopefully I didn't even do an audio test, so hopefully this thing sounds good. me just oh no, I think I just muted it. There we go. It does have a little mute thing here that you can press, but anyway, hopefully it sounds okay. I'm probably a little bit of an echoey space. But just want to talk about reselling your Amazon influencer brand deal. So I think this is a missed opportunity for really just a lot of content creators in general that do either UGC content or maybe they do what I do and work with Amazon sellers or e-commerce sellers and create these videos. There's a big opportunity to resell some of this product and make some additional commission off of it. So once again, I'm set up I'm going live on Wi-Fi. Don't tell anyone at Ecamm, but I'm just on my Wi-Fi network. However, my power has been out in my office all day. Once again, this is the front part of my office, so I'm just having fun kind of hanging out here. Hey, what's up, Leslie? Good to see you. Where does this come in at? There we go. Let's see if I can fix this. Maybe I'll have it come in over here. There we go. Maybe that looks good for comments if anybody jumps in and watches. So anyway, let's talk about a little bit about the resale strategies that I've used over the last several years and kind of how I, came to this idea of I need to resell stuff is my first year in business. I was doing a ton of product videos and the product was coming in, but the product wasn't going out. It was just staying in my office and I was kind of freaking out a little bit. And I'm like, I gotta have a place to I gotta do something with all this stuff. And then I'm sitting here going, well, somebody else sells this online, so maybe I should try to sell it as well. And that's when I first started thinking about reselling. And I am not a reseller, like for the sake of the word reseller or whatever. Like the definition of a reseller is not me. I just happen to be in a situation where I have a lot of product that needs to be sold and resold. So I guess traditional reselling would be somebody goes out and find, in which I've done this, you go out and you flip something, you find something, you buy low, sell high, and resell it that way. And a lot of people make a lot of money that way, flipping stuff on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or somewhere. And it's very similar to this. So if you've done that before, all the things I'm going to talk about are kind of the same thing. The only difference is, and the beauty is, you have 0 cost of goods. And so how I kind of came to this, sense of urgency, not only was it taking up space and it was taking up, mental space as well, because I got all this stuff piling up around me, but it was also taking up like physical space, like real estate. And I'm, renting an office. I'm renting an office then, I'm renting an office now. And so I can kind of take the square footage of that office and divide it by whatever I'm paying for rent. And you can do this with your mortgage if you're working from home. And you kind of figure out like, okay, this stuff sitting here is costing me money because it's taking up space in the space that I'm, paying for, if that be rent, a mortgage, or whatever, or a lease on a commercial property. And so that kind of gave me a little bit of sense of urgency of like, this stuff needs to make money. It needs to get out of here and I need to make money on it. Now, not every single product is going to make money per product. And that's what we'll talk about some in this, just to give some people some ideas. Because more than likely, if you're like me and you're doing a bunch of brand deals, you're getting a variety of different products. And some of the cons to this is like you only get one off, right? Like I'm only going to get one of these headsets. Now I may get a different company sending me a headset that's similar to this, But at the end of the day, I'm only getting one of these. And so for me to set up like an online store and to do all the work that we need to do to list that and to put that up may not make the most amount of sense. Especially if I don't have an audience or something that I can drive over there and pick it up. You not literally, not physically, but just online. So anyway, so how does this work? If you're unfamiliar with this process, or maybe you're watching this and you're not in the space and you have no clue what I'm talking about, basically brands pay me they send me product, pay me a small fee. I take a video of the product and then I get to keep the product. I can do whatever I want to with it. I can throw it away. I can put it in a storage unit. I can gift it. I can whatever. I can trade it. I can do whatever I want. And typically, this is where we all get hung up. And after the video is done, after the video is recorded, then that becomes inventory. And I just want to say hi to Philip real quick. What's up, Phil? Good to see you. And so that becomes inventory. So I think a couple things here, a couple beginner mistakes. I got my notes on my computer. Once again, I'm like in a different part of my office on my laptop with my Osmo Pocket 3 with my phone. And this kind of feels like the beginning days of content creation. And there's something special about this. I got one USB microphone plugged into my computer, and I'm reading notes off my phone. So I don't know. I'm enjoying this little setup here. But anyhow, so some beginner mistakes I feel like that we make is we want to hold on to everything just in case. So we're getting maybe 100 products, maybe 50, maybe 20 products, 10 products a month, whatever it is. And then we're like, well, maybe I'll just hold on to that for something else. Maybe that's to create more content. Maybe this product will take off and I'm going to do more content about it. Maybe I am going to use the product. Maybe somebody in my family can use it. Maybe my friends can use it. Maybe I should check with them first. And I think this is a big mistake for a lot of us is, hey, what's up, Matt? I am live. I'm live. I'm live. Whole different setup. I'm just here in my other part of my office. But anyway, I'm not going to say that again. I've already said it enough. So anyway, I think one of the big mistakes here for Amazon influencers in particular, people who are getting these free products, is you want to hold on to it just in case. You're letting stuff pile up in like your office, your workspace, and you're not turning it into cash. And like I said, if you take the amount of space that it is already taking up, divide that by how much you're paying in your mortgage, your rent, what have you, that's how much money it's actually costing you per month to store that. So think about it in those terms, and I think it'll motivate you quickly to get rid of that stuff. So another mistake here, I think, is trying to get retail prices for products that we get instead of focusing on a quick turnover. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to Amazon influencers and I say, well, why are you not selling this stuff? Like, you're just hoarding it, you're keeping it. Some people are even paying for storage units, and some of them are like, well, I want to sell it and I want to get the best, I want to get the most amount of money I can out of it, but no one's wanting to pay me that. It's not moving on Facebook, it's not moving on eBay or whatever. And I think this is a huge mistake because, one, you didn't pay anything for it. It's a zero cost of goods. So in business terms, it costs you no money, $0. So you really don't have much to lose. Now, I get it. Some people are going to jump in on the tax conversation and blah, 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 blah. Like, we all own businesses. Taxes are a thing. That's right. Figure it out. Okay. So, but you can't make these little decisions based on hypothetical, like whatever. It's like you're going to pay taxes on whatever you sell. Great. It's a business. That's part of it. So I don't know. For some reason, that is always a part of the conversation. Well, then I got to pay taxes on it. Well, you got to pay taxes on everything. So just put it on your little tax bill and just know you're going to pay taxes. Like, who cares? So trying to get retail prices, I think, is a huge mistake. I personally try to sell stuff at 50% of retail, 25% of retail. I try to do a percentage of retail just so it keeps me organized and I can price stuff very quickly. And I'm not just like hung up on like, oh, what do I think this should be? It's just a percentage of retail. It's kind of how I price everything. Another thing here is listing products like one by one instead of bundling or having some type of system to help you. And Matt in the comments, if he's still there, he has a really good workflow strategy and puts this into his Notion account and really, tracks his inventory down to a T and does a phenomenal job at that. Me personally, I'm just trying to get rid of it. Don't really care. I track it in my CRM for the deal itself. But as far as like reselling it, I'm going to try to list this. I'm going to try to if I can get one person to to come and buy something, I want them to buy 2 or 3 things at a time. That's kind of my mentality behind it, is how do I get someone to buy 2 or 3 things and I can get rid of stuff super quick. So instead of me, and right now, and I'll tell you, I mean, I get a little proximity issue that I'm dealing with, but I'll go into that in a minute. But don't be afraid to bundle stuff. Don't be afraid to, have a quick turnaround system, build a network of other people who might resell, that where you can be business partners, where you can hook them up. I mean, not really business partners, but just like partners in general. Like, say, hey, I get a bunch of products. If you want to buy it for X percentage of retail, that's enough for you to mark up and make some money on it. So maybe you go find a reseller. So a few tips here to make this easy for you. Create what I call the kick it or keep it decision. I make this decision very quickly. So if I grab this product and I take it out of the box, I make a video, I do the demo, I do whatever, I upload the video, I quickly make a decision right then and there at my desk. Am I keeping this or am I kicking this? Not literally kicking it, but am I going to keep it or am I going to kick it to the curb? Am I going to sell it? And do that immediately. And that way you don't have any questions. You're not sitting there, well, I'll think about it, I'll ponder it. Because I find when I personally just make that quick decision, like, this is it, I'm selling it. It's done. It's the decision. I've stood on it. I don't care. I'm not going to think about it again. I'm going to kick it or keep it right there immediately. So use a weekly resale cycle. So film, sort, and sell. That's my whole method. It's like, I'm going to film it, I'm going to sort it out, I'm going to sell it. And that all this stuff has a place where it lives, where it goes, it stays organized. I have it on a spreadsheet that I can share with other people. I'll jump into more of that here in a little bit. I'm going to bundle, once again, if I can bundle stuff, I'll bundle it and give people better deals. I always tell people, if you get one thing, it's going to be one price. If you get 3 or 4 things, the price gets better. The bigger the pile in your hand, if you're walking out of my door like this with a bunch of stuff, you got a way better deal. So you can sell items fast and cheap, and don't be afraid to sell items fast and cheap. This creates cash flow, especially if you have an influx of products coming in. Your product pipeline is really good for all these videos that you're making. Don't be afraid to sell stuff quick and cheap, because it just creates cash flow. You know this as well as I do. When you're making these videos, you're waiting 60 days for a payout from Amazon. And sometimes, as a business owner, you might need operating cash for something else. In my case, I need money to pay my bills. I need money to buy new equipment. I need money to make other investments. And so if I'm just sitting on product that is just taking up space and costing me money, then and I'm trying to just wait it out and get the most amount of money that I possibly can, then I think it is a huge missed opportunity for you there. So use live selling. So here's another tip. If you are not familiar with live selling, I would totally get familiar with that and start just trying to dip your toes into that. Now, I've live sold a lot of product over on Whatnot. I've live sold over 2,000 orders over there. Some of those orders are multiple products. So I'd say 2,500 plus individual items I've sold on that platform. No problem at all. And that would be to, that's a little bit different. Like, Whatnot is, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Whatnot, because it is more of a liquidation mindset community over there, especially now. When I started doing this, several years ago, a couple of years ago, or whatever it was, there was a little bit better of a buying mentality, where it was like, okay, I can actually get a decent price. I can get a decent percentage of, retail value. Now it's more like liquidation. So it's going to be super fast and super furious. But Whatnot's not the only place. If you had a way to do that, maybe you set up a local Facebook group and you live sell to people in that group. Or I don't know if you can do that anymore or not, actually. I can't remember. Facebook changed something where you can't live sell somewhere or live stream to, like, maybe a group. Maybe it's a group. I don't know. Anyway, but you could essentially build something where you say, hey, every Thursday on Facebook, I'm going to live sell in my local area, and you can just pay me via PayPal and come pick it up or something like that. I mean, I see people do, things like that all the time. So don't sleep on the ability to quickly show up and say, hey guys, I'm going to sell this thing right now for $10. Who wants it? Shoot me over PayPal, blah, blah, blah. And maybe you have somebody with you, a kid, a spouse, whatever that can help you manage that and mark those things sold. So the benefit of jumping into, selling all your stuff is one, you get guaranteed cash. Once again, cash flow is king in any business. It helps you clear out your inventory, so you don't have to sit there under a pile of stuff. There's at one point I thought I'm going to die under a pile of products. Like, what the heck am I even doing? It adds, most importantly, another income stream. So you can actually create a whole nother business out of this if you want to, and that could be this. And for me, I kind of got introduced to the idea of becoming a reseller, the idea of buying products when I'm out and about and reselling those on Whatnot. Now, I just found that my time constraint was too much, so I couldn't do all the things. But the benefit of like selling somewhere online or even in your local community and doing, some other things we'll talk about, like yard sales, garage sales, whatever, is you build a network of buyers. And when you build a network of buyers, you'll be surprised how many of those people will keep coming back to wherever you're at. If that's on Whatnot, if that's in your front yard, they'll keep coming back and doing that. So this is one thing that could grow into a whole nother, business depending on what you got going on. So and then also it's another way to create content. So if you're struggling trying to figure out, maybe you want to create an additional piece of content and put it somewhere about your business or whatever, it's like you have all kinds of opportunities when you're live selling to do that. So the cons here: one, you got to store it, which if you're not selling it, you're storing it anyway. If you had to ship it, shipping logistics, like shipping sucks. We all know it. It's just part of it if you're going to do the shipping game. But it's not really that horrible. Like, there's tools out there now. It's easy. I'll just put it this way: it's easier now than it's ever been, and it's just going to keep getting easier as it goes. So don't be afraid of shipping. Jump right into it. Figure it out. Sure, you might eat it a couple times, but you'll be fine. And then the other con here is, like, sometimes items just don't resell. They don't have enough value to resell. Like standalone items. Like, I've got a couple items in my box. I'm like, okay, these aren't going to really, resell that great, but they might be some freebies I throw into, maybe an online sell, or maybe I just bundle it up into, some kind of package deal later on. All kinds of different ways to do that. So we talked about a little bit about Whatnot live selling. It's basically just where you're the host, just like I'm here. The only difference is there's like a buy now button, a checkout button, a swipe to bid button, a way for somebody to quickly make a purchase, either individual or, like they'll bundle and stuff like that. So, and Whatnot is its own beast. I keep saying Whatnot, but there's also eBay Live, which I don't know if everyone can get access to it. There's Depop. I can't remember. There's another one that I'm a part of that I've never sold on there, but I'm a part of it. I can't remember the name. But anyway, this is good for small stuff. So Whatnot live selling, in my opinion, is better for smaller things, especially on Whatnot. The shipping, they have like a negotiated rate with USPS, and so therefore, unless it gets past a certain size, then the shipping is paid by the buyer majority of the time, or you can pay it. I never do, but you can pay it if you want as a seller. But unless it gets to a certain size, it's pretty cheap to do, especially if you're in the States. Now, I'm no longer in the mainland states, so where I'm at, I mean, just Puerto Rico in general is excluded from that contract just because of proximity, which I totally understand. So I don't really get that deal anymore, and that's the only reason I'm not selling over there, is because shipping is such an investment that it makes it tough to get the bids up. And then also Whatnot, it takes time. It's an audience. You got to build it. It takes time, which all this stuff takes time. Like, doesn't matter. There's no easy button. Okay, let's see what else we got here. And let's see, beginner mistakes on Whatnot. I will say, I'll kind of share my thoughts a little bit. I hear this a lot. Well, I'm just waiting until I have enough inventory. If you have 10 products, my first show ever was 8 products. And I didn't know if anybody was going to show up. I didn't know how fast it was going to move. And next thing I know, I'm sold all 8 products in a couple of minutes. And then I'm like trying to manually add stuff into there. I would say do a small show in the beginning just to figure it out anyway. So if you have, 4,000 products and you're trying to blaze through them on your first couple shows, you're probably going to get overwhelmed. But if you do just say, I'm going to stop myself at 10 items. Hey guys, this is the first show. I'm going to do 10 items. Bam. I'm going to blitz through it. I'm going to learn how to ship it. I'm going to understand the shipping. I'm going to understand, how it works, the whatnot system. And then maybe the next show, it's 25, 30 pieces, 40 pieces, 100 pieces. And I've sold over like 150 pieces, in a show before. So it's not super, super crazy. Let's see here. We got a couple comments coming in. So let's see. Matt. Well, let me pull this out here. I'm not doing a good job. I noticed somewhat whatnot sellers have signs that say all shipping is 921. How can I do that? So you can set that parameter. It's some kind of like, I think it's, well, you got to be careful with electronics, with lithium batteries, because I think that's for like flat rate boxes, in a flat rate box. And shipping is a whole mess. There's a lot of good YouTube videos over there. I primarily just ship everything. Sorry, my Bluetooth speaker is going crazy. I primarily ship everything ground because most of the stuff I ship has batteries in it. Let's see. Chrissy says, "Whoa, where are you live from?" I am live from the front part of my office. So I didn't do any audio test. I have no idea what this sounds like. Could sound like crap. I just pulled the MV7 Plus podcast kit out of the box and just started holding it. I don't even know what this sounds like. It could sound pretty terrible. I'm trying not to move around. I'm trying not to put this thing too close to my face so you guys don't hear any plosives. I'm going to go live on Whatnot and sell 4 knives. You can do that. 4 of them. It's perfect. Well, and that's a beauty too, especially with like creator connections and the ability to curate shows. You can do that. So I've been testing some of that too. Just kind of watching what sells, what moves fast, and trying to get repeats of those types of products. Not that I can get the same product, but just the same product from a different company, if you will. So anyway, let me see here. What am I talking about? Beginner mistakes? Oh, yeah. So and this is beginner mistakes on Whatnot. I'm going to go through a lot of strategies I use. So this might be a little bit longer of a live stream. But anyway, so waiting until you have enough inventory. Don't wait, just do it. Running shows with no energy or entertainment. Whatnot is very social. It is very much an entertainment platform. Nothing will get me to swipe away quicker than showing up to someone who's not talking. There's no face. There's nothing running. There's no auctions running. It is a very transactional platform, and I would say it's transaction first, but then community kind of second. Like, and really when somebody makes a transaction, then it is, even more community driven. So you can definitely build a great community over there. Like I could go live on Whatnot probably right now, have 10, 15, maybe up to 30 people jump into a live show and hang out for a few minutes. Now, sometimes they'll be more, but if I was selling stuff, they would definitely hang out, longer. So I might be able to get, 20, 30 people over there. And then probably average about 20 people, but it's just like any other type of content. The more you go live, the more you show up, the more people are going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to put this into my schedule. Like Matt Haas in the chat, he goes live every single day at 8:30 a.m. I think 8:30 or 9:30 a.m. 8:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. I don't know. My time zones are messed up. But anyway, he goes live. I know he's going to be live. I can count on him. He's going to be there. It's going to be awesome. All that kind of fun stuff. Okay, let's jump over here real quick to Leslie. I was literally taking, oh man, these comments are messing with me. I was literally taking pictures of products when I got your live notifications, starting with Facebook Marketplace, and maybe figure out Whatnot product page instead of live. Yeah, so Whatnot does have a buy now section. Let's see, I hope you will do a training on how to do Whatnot. I may not do that just because Whatnot changes so much, and I'm not over there enough. And there's plenty of people, and there's a really good Whatnot group as well, like a Facebook group. They're a little bit rough around the edges, but they can definitely point you in the right direction. And there's like some really good content out there on YouTube. And even I've sold on there dozens and dozens of times, and I still have to jump on and make sure I'm like, figuring it out. So I don't know that I will do that anytime soon because I'm just, in my particular situation, I've decided not to pursue Whatnot for most stuff. I will say I do have a plan for Whatnot. It's just after a couple of phases of trying to sell this product in a couple different markets before. So anyway, let's see what else. Oh yeah, so whatnot pricing too high. Once again, it's a liquidation platform. You can start the auctions at whatever you want to, or you can start the listing at whatever you want to. If I'm listing it and like a buy it now, and I'm just sitting around waiting for someone to buy it, I'm gonna obviously list it much higher. Maybe I'm gonna list it 25, 50% of retail. And then if I'm running it in a live show, I might start it off at like 5 or 10% of retail, or maybe even less, just depending on the product and depending on what I got going on. Yeah, yeah, Leslie, I know. I did a poll in Deal Makers, like who wants to learn more about whatnot, and then I'm like, maybe I'm not the person to teach that. I sometimes I ask questions and I go, wait a minute, I didn't really think this through all the way, which is totally fine. So okay, so whatnot tips for you real quick. Sell last week brand deal products during this week's show. It's always great. Like if you have a good inventory system and you can quickly get those products. There's so many ways to do it. I think Matt's way is one of the best ways. Um, because he has everything like dialed in and images and all that stuff. And I think if you can plan shows longer out, like a couple weeks out, and then you can have all that stuff kind of stacked up. But the beauty is, like for you, Leslie, if you are listing stuff on whatnot in their buy it now section, then you can take those products and move them over to a live show at any time. So you can go through and select what products you want, drop them into a live show. You can be selling live, have your buy it now section, and even promote products in your buy it now section. So maybe you have higher ticket items that you don't want to start at $2, $3, $4, $5 or whatever, and you go, hey guys, I got some portable monitors, starting at $50 over in the buy it now section. I'll also take offers. So you can kind of do a little hybrid model as well. Let's see. Used fast-paced auction style. Personally, I think I see people who do, really fast-paced, and I'll say I enjoy the chill auctions the best. Some people on whatnot are pretty cringe. They're like, "Come on, chat, run it up, chat. Come on, chat, blah blah blah." Whatever. I don't really enjoy that. I don't really enjoy a lot of people yelling the F word at me while I'm trying to make a decision if I'm going to buy something or not. Bundle items together. So do a faster paced, auction if you can. Once you get used to it, bundle some smaller items together and create, recurring shows. I think that's important for any type of content, any type of social platform. And once again, you can move inventory super fast. You can build community. You can build a whole different community of people who are buying. They're transactional. They're buyers. And maybe you go over there and build a super solid community, and then you launch your own product. And that could be a place where you could go sell it, or a place where you can promote it to sell it on your own website, things like that. So, and it's great for clearing out low value items. So if I have something that won't sell on Facebook Marketplace, it won't sell at a local market, then I can just bundle that up, take it over to Whatnot. Hey guys, got 15 products in this box. Here's what they are. Whatever, start it off at a couple bucks and let it go. Let's see. The only shows I've seen had like 10 people. Let's see. What does this say? The only shows I've seen had people giving like 10-second countdowns and then the sold. Yeah. And then sold the items. Seems so fast. Well, and this is the problem. This is one of the things, I don't know if I put it in my notes or not, is to not try and keep up. And if this was a tip, I'd say is like, as an Amazon influencer, we're getting very limited amounts of product. We're not buying liquidation. So a lot of these companies over there, they're buying 5, 10 truckloads a week and selling it. So they are paying pennies on the dollar, and they're just trying to move stuff as fast as they possibly can. Personally, if I'm getting 100 products a month and I want to do a consistent show once a week over on Whatnot, then I'm going to just do 25-piece shows, 25, 30-piece shows, and try to stretch my inventory because I want more people to be in the next show. And sometimes I like fall into the trap of like, well, people are here right now, buyers are here right now, we should just sell everything right now. And I've done that, and I've probably not had the best experience for myself after the show because I sold so many things, and then I have to go back and ship it all. So and I'm already doing stuff. I'm already making videos. I'm already doing brand deals. I'm negotiating stuff all the time. I have a life outside of work. And so I'm trying to, you know, to manage all these things and run these big shows and trying to compete with all these big sellers and whatnot. And I think it was just a big mistake that I jumped into personally and was like, holy crap, I can't continue to do this. So and then the cons is always with whatnot. I think is like you just don't make as much money. You're not maximizing the amount of money that you can make. It's more of that liquidation thing. You do have to live host a show. You don't have to show your face. You can show your hands, whatever. But I find that the most the more entertaining, the more there you are, the more present you are, the better your audience will be and like you. And it's just like anything else. So time commitment for shipping sucks. We just know that. It's part of it. And then sales really depends on your audience size. So probably not going to bang it out the first, show. And they'll want you to promote your show and all that stuff. I've never really got a good return on my investment if I've tried to do that a few times. So that would be one thing. So next thing here is like Facebook Marketplace reselling. I'll try to go over this real quickly. Everybody knows what Facebook Marketplace is. You probably buy stuff on there. You probably try to sell stuff on there. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. Facebook is one of those where I feel like I get a lot of value, but I spend a lot of time. And it's just one of those things where it's just part of it. It's like you got to answer the question, is this available? Even if you put it's not, even if you put, hey, if you see this, you big dumb idiot, it's available. Like, even if you put that, it's just not worth your time to argue about it in the chat. It's just like, yep, are you interested? Yep, here's the pickup location. It's like whatever that thing is, like let's just try to move it. So, but this is a great place to meet resellers. And I've met a lot of resellers, and I'll ask people, are you a reseller? And they go, yeah. And I go, cool, come here. Let me show you the rest of my inventory. And I've sold a lot of stuff like that. So that is a good way to do that as well. Hey, what's up, Bob? Good to see you. Let me bring Bob's name up here. What's up, Bob? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. The only show. Okay, cool. The scammers are legit out there. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Knock on wood. That's fake wood, but I hope it works. I haven't really had that problem with Facebook. I don't know that I've really had that issue. So, or I don't even know what that scam would look like. But yeah, definitely scammers everywhere in every industry. Let's see, reselling on Facebook. Okay, so beginner mistakes on Facebook. I feel like Facebook, by the way, is a great place to sell larger items. I've always had really good success selling larger stuff, like bed frames and dressers and big chairs and office chairs. When I was in the States, I'd sell office chairs like no one's business. Like, I don't know, maybe I just lived where there's a bunch of offices, but sometimes I'd sell 2 or 3 to one person. I'm like, how is this even possible? What are you going to do with 4 office chairs that are completely different from each other, by the way? So anyway, let's see, big mistakes or beginner mistakes, I feel like, for Facebook. And, Facebook, you can ship on there as well. I would never try to ship large items. Like, forget it. I'd never do that. Maybe poor listing information. I'm pretty bad at this. Like, I don't really do a great job at listing stuff and giving you probably can't give too much information. And I always just say like, hey, this is, open box. And I took it out of the box, made a quick video for the brand, put it back in the box, and I'm selling it to you for a great price. Reach out if you're interested, and obviously put the name of the thing and all that stuff. So just like any other platform, use better photos, better descriptions, be safe, meet in safe places, don't get scammed. Bundle items, bulky items. What I love about this is no shipping. So they either come pick up, I know a guy that does this where he has this bin thing out in his yard, and people come by and grab product and leave cash. That seems to work really well for him. And cash is great. So no shipping required, cash, great for bulky items, easy to list items quickly. And also Facebook has like a CSV form as well that you can kind of fill out and upload a bunch of stuff at one time. But I found that this, for me anyway, has not been good for like smaller, non-expensive items. It's kind of like, okay, the stuff sits there forever and doesn't do anything. Bundle reselling. So this is my next thing I'll get into, and I apologize. I had all of this in as you can see on my screen. I had all these notes where I could put them on the screen, but then I decided to come into another part of my office and do this video, or do this live show. So anyhow, bundle reselling. This is my favorite type of reselling, and by basically what I mean is finding individuals who buy bulk stuff to resell themselves. I've made the best. I'm not going to say I made the most amount of money, but it's been the easiest transaction. It's been so easy. If I could find 10 of these people, and I did here, if I can do this here in Puerto Rico like I did in the States, it's amazing. So instead of selling products individually, you can group multiple items together. Maybe it's a theme bundle, maybe it's just a package, maybe it's 10, 15, 20 pieces, maybe it's 100 pieces, maybe it's 500 pieces, and you can just sell this to a reseller. And this is awesome. So I think this is one of the things where one of the strategies that I do is I will do like a yard sale or a local market or garage sale or whatever you call it, a rummage sale, I think some people call it. And you can, hey, what's up, Stuart? Good to see you. Hola, Stuart. ¿Cómo está, my friend? I'm not going to try to speak Spanish. I'm terrible. But anyway, you can go say like you set up in front of your yard. I used to do this in North Carolina when I lived there in the springtime, especially when it's not freezing cold and yard sales are big and everybody's out doing them. I would promote my heavy hitting stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So I'd take like portable monitors, projectors, whatever that was, higher resale value. I'd put that a couple days before, so like a Thursday or a Friday. I'd put that on Facebook Marketplace, in the local marketplace. And then on Saturday, I drag the rest of the stuff out in my yard. I put it out for sale, obviously promote the yard sale in different places as well. And then every time, without fail, somebody would reach out to me and go, hey, is that portable monitor still available? Yes, it is. It's actually in my yard sale right now. It's sitting on a table. If you want it, I'll put it behind the table. I'll hold it for 1 hour. You can come out and grab it. I'm here. Awesome. Be there in 20 minutes. Great. They come out. Not only do they buy the portable monitor, but they buy 5, 6 other items as well. And then, in doing this, if I see someone looking at a product, and we've seen these people all the time, so they're looking at the product, this is what I get for holding my microphone, and they're scanning it with their phone. Maybe they get their Amazon app out, maybe they get their eBay app out, and they're scanning their stuff. That person's a reseller, like majority of the time. And I just walk right up to them and go, hey, you're a reseller? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they think you're going to give them crap. And I go, cool, man, make a real big pile and I'll give you a real big deal. And then what I do is get their phone number. And then I create this master spreadsheet, and I keep this master spreadsheet all the time. I update it every day. When I do a product, I just update it. And then I will send it to them. And when I update it, I'll go, hey, here you go. I'm going to keep updating this. If you're interested in something, reach out to me, let me know. Once again, more you buy, better the deal. And I'll just keep that list updated, and I'll just send it out to those people. And I'll share it with everybody, but really I'm looking to share that with resellers. And that's a really good strategy. It works. I just did a local market 2 weeks ago. I did pretty good at the market for the 3 hours that I was there. And then one of those people was indeed a reseller, called me up, came by, grabbed 10 more products the next day, or a couple days later, I guess, and it was awesome. So that takes me to my next thing, is just like yard sales and local markets. I'm in Puerto Rico. I don't speak Spanish. Most people here are bilingual, which is awesome. So they speak Spanish and English. I don't speak Spanish. I was pretty nervous to go to a local market, and what it was like kind of like a community yard sale. I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, and it crushed. And so I think for you all, it's just important, like, put yourself in those situations where it's like, I don't know, maybe this isn't going to work out. Maybe I feel a little bit uncomfortable going to this, yard sale or community yard sale or whatever. Just put it out there, because it's even better because everyone's promoting it. And maybe you put one together yourself. Maybe you put together a neighborhood yard sale and say, hey, we're going to do a neighborhood yard sale. Who's in? It's going to be April 15th or whatever, or April 13th, right before tax day, and not April 15th. But anyway, just do that, and see what you can come up with. But once again, I think it's important that even in all these situations, you're not always trying to do like retail pricing, right? So I think that's one of the biggest mistakes. Not really encouraging people to bundle. Actually, not selling. I'll say this. When I was doing my last yard sale, especially in North Carolina, in this last market, I just kicked my camera. I love this like low tech setup here. It's awesome. Well, it's probably high tech, but not as high tech in my studio. But anyway, I'm at this local market, and I also do this in my yard sale in North Carolina. Is I get off of my chair and I answer questions. Because looking at some of this product, especially the stuff that we get as Amazon influencers, it's like some of it's like some of it's got pictures on the box, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is what this is. Some of it, you're like, what the freak is that? I have no idea. And so if I can walk them through, much like I would if I worked at a retail store, I can walk them through. I get way better transactions that way. I get way better close rates that way. And I'm not necessarily like selling, like, oh, you should buy this microphone. It's the greatest microphone ever. I use it on my live streams when I'm sitting in my office. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, hey, this is a podcast mic. It's great. It comes with a cable. It comes with a stand. You just plug it right into your computer. You got USB-C on your computer? Yeah. Well, you just plug it right in. Go to your audio settings, select, MV7 Plus. It's super, super easy. Even comes with a little mute button. And the only thing I don't like is sometimes I accidentally hit that. But if I go in the software, I can turn that on and off, whatever. So it's just, you already know about the product. You've already created the video. Use that to your advantage. Use that to your leverage. And be ready to, just answer those questions and even tell people about it. It's like, you don't have to be super salesy, but I'm telling you, you'll get, there's people after community yard sales that will come up to me and go, my gosh, dude, how much money did you make today? And I made $500. And I'll go, wow, how did you do that? I'm telling people about product. Now, it helps because most of this stuff is like new in the box. It's open box. I took it out for 5 minutes, so it kind of sells itself at that point, especially if you get good pricing on it. Let's see. Do you really update your inventory spreadsheet daily? I get lazy and get behind, then I give up and stop updating. So yeah, and this kind of helps out because I have slower internet in my office, and so I don't get behind when I'm like recording products. So I'll have a shelf of product. I record the product. I'm uploading it. So while it's uploading, I put all the contents back in the box, make sure everything's in there, and then while I'm uploading it, I'm copying and pasting, in my spreadsheet, or I have a CRM. So if I wanted to, I could go back at the end of each week and just export, what I did that week in the CRM, and then just fill in those, spreadsheets. But what I come to find out is I just add it immediately because once again, I'm sharing it and I'm sharing it to all these people. So if they're checking it, I want them to see what's the freshest things on there and not having to wait for me to. I keep seeing something flash across my screen. Maybe it just goes off. Maybe I leave it on there and it goes off after a second. So yeah, I've gotten to the habit of doing that while I'm uploading. My internet's a little slow, so it's taking a while to upload. And then, not too long, a couple minutes, and I'm just putting stuff on that spreadsheet right then and there. And you could probably do it. Nah, I wouldn't do it before the video because you just want to make sure your videos. And I don't put it on there until everything's clear. Like I just did a video of a little audio recording device, and so I waited until that video was approved. It was a higher ticket video, and so now that's approved. Now I'll go back and put it back on there. So it just depends on the deal on the product. All right, let's see. I got a few more things here, I think. Another thing that could be fun, I just put this on my list, is like mystery box reselling. So you got to be careful with this. Like you don't want to be that scammy person who sells a box for $100 and it doesn't have $100 worth of value in it. When I'm selling, if I do this, which sometimes maybe I'll do this at like a yard sale, I might do it this weekend. I might put together some mystery boxes just for fun, maybe something low ticket, $20 or something, put 4 or 5 products in there. And maybe what I do is I'll just put one banger in there and then I'll put some other stuff that I know might be tough to get rid of. And so it might just be like, okay, I'll theme it up and put one really solid item in there, and then I'll do, whatever. So you could do some mystery box stuff. Just don't overpromise the value and underdeliver, because you don't want to be that person. I've bought mystery boxes like that. I love mystery boxes. And I've bought a couple that's just like trash, and I'm like, wow. And I never bought them again from those people. So don't include too many low quality items, and then don't price your boxes too high. So just set clear expectations, 5-10 items a box. Use this method to slow moving inventory. Once again, if it's slow moving, and then you can promote that surprise factor. And sometimes I'll even take a mystery box down to the, I did this the other day. I took a box with a product. No, it was a higher value product. And I took it to the restaurant next door, which is a cool smash burger place. And I was like, hey, I got this mystery box. I'll trade you for a meal. Do you want to do this or not? Of course, I only did this with the owner. And the owner was like, sure. Actually, he said sure faster than that. He's like, yeah, why not? And anyway, so it was cool. It was one of those air compressor pumps for his car tires, because he travels a lot and goes back and forth across the island. And so I thought maybe this is something he could use. Okay, anyway, have fun with it. It's fun. Reselling this stuff can be fun. It has a story. When people hear about your story, they learn about your story, they learn where you get this stuff. That's part of the experience for them. And I think sometimes we sit on that. It's what we do as Amazon influencers and as UGC creators and product video creators and content creators in general, whatever, video creators, video producers. It's pretty unique. It's an interesting conversation piece, and so I think it's important that you don't sleep on that story too much, and share that. And people are very inquisitive, and it's fun. And just have fun. Don't take yourself too serious. Don't take your product too serious. You're always going to get more product. And, I've sold probably over 4,000 items total. And it has been just a blast. And it's really a great stream of revenue. I think last year I did over 30,000 in resale items. I think the year before I did the same, roughly about the same, just kind of reselling the zero cost of goods. So it's 100% profit, minus whatever, if you get storage or an office or whatever. So let's see, there is a pallet liquidator near me. He announces on Facebook. Let's see, let's just bring this up. This is a good thing. And I got to bounce here in a minute. My son is going to come over and watch a movie in my office, because we've been setting up a projector on the wall, which has been super fun. So there's a pallet liquidator near me. He announces on Facebook when you get a bunch of pallets, and a couple dozen people show up with their trucks and buy mystery box pallets. I'm trying to figure out a way he and I can partner. So this is very interesting, and I looked into this, and I'll say I looked into it lightly. I'm not going to say I spent a ton of time doing it, but I spoke to somebody in the liquidation space as I was. So what happened was I was on Whatnot. I was producing some really nice shows, multicam, using eCam, all the stuff I do. And one of the heads of the electronic department reached out to me and was like, hey, we love what you're doing. We want you to sell more stuff on our platform. And I'm like, of course you do, because you make money every time, because you pay a fee. That's one of the cons of Whatnot. So you got to pay a fee on eBay, whatnot, whatever. And so anyway, we started talking about this, and I go, well, I don't have any, I just get what I get, and that's what I got. And when I'm done, I'm done. I can sell, all this inventory in one show that I get an entire month. And so they were like, well, what if we send you a pallet? And we will pay for it. We'll do whatever. And then obviously you sell it all. And when you sell it, reimburse us, whatever's left, you make, no problem, after fees and all that stuff, and the reimbursement of the pallet. So I said, sure, I'll make the upfront investment of time and energy of processing the pallet. And then you guys just provide the upfront cash. Dumpster fire. it was a trash can. And I didn't understand because they actually bought it from somebody that was selling on their platform. Absolute dumpster. Absolute dumpster. There was a dog turd in a vacuum that was a very used vacuum that was in a brand new box. And I thought, oh, this is a brand new vacuum. This is crazy. This is on a return pallet. This is crazy. No, it was a return, all right. It was horrible. It was disgusting. And so after that, I went on this deep dive of trying to figure this out. And, I talked to a couple people and they're like, look, there's three big players in this game that have these big contracts with these different companies that liquidate these retail stores. Those guys get it. Then those guys drop down to the next tier. Those guys pick it. Those guys pick, and it just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. They're like, so unless you're throwing big money, you're not going to get anything very good. And so when you look at these people on Whatnot and you see that they have these brand new whatever, and they're like, yeah, we bought a liquidation truck and we got 85 iPads. It's like they have invested a ton of money over time, and it's pretty wild. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you want to talk about scammers. Not only that, so not only did that $2,700 pallet not make us any money, so Whatnot lost their hind end on it. I lost mine. I hired somebody to help me process it. I lost all the anyway. So not only did that happen, but then I bought a $400 pallet. Thought I went through the process. Thought I did a great job in my due diligence, and got scammed out of $400. So I'm like, all right. And then I just bought bad products that didn't make sense. So if I were going to, I'd tell somebody don't do this unless you're just like got money to burn and you don't care to just eat it several times. But it's got to have a manifest. Like that's the number one thing you want to ask for is like, where's the manifest? I need the manifest. And if it doesn't have it, or two things, if I'm buying it at a distance and it doesn't have a manifest, and if it doesn't, if I'm not buying from like B2 stock or something like that, I'm not buying it without a manifest, or I put my eyes on it. So in your case, Bob, like if it's downtown, around town, whatever, yeah, just go over there, take a peek, see if they'll let you look into it and see what you're up against. Because another situation, this is my last little horror story about this, and then I'm going to end this live show, was I reached out to somebody who sells on Whatnot, who was actually in the same category as me in electronics, and who had been really supportive, been in my shows, helped me promote my shows. I mean, very supportive person. They said, hey, I bought a truckload of pallets. You want one? I'll send it to you. And it was something similar. It was like $1,500, $2,000, something like that. I'll go, yeah, man, let's take a look at it. Send me some pictures. You got a manifest? No, I don't have one. I'm like, okay, well, you're a friend, like whatever. Or I know you. I wouldn't call you a friend, but, we've been around each other. So I'm like, yeah, send it to me. Send me some pictures. So he sends me pictures, and, I'm looking at it, and there's some good stuff on it. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. This is great. Sends me another couple pictures, and so I sent them to my wife. Thankfully, I sent them to my wife because it's a lot of money for us. I'm like, hey, can you take a look at these and just tell me what see if you see anything that you're familiar with? Because I don't know all the brands of the world and all that stuff. And so she got into it. Well, luckily, she dives a little bit deeper into some of these boxes and some of these labels, and come to find out, it was just a box of adult toys. And I'm like, what am I going to do with that, man? So, after that situation, I was like, I'm out. And then also, I thought, well, maybe I'll buy these Amazon return pallets and take stuff off there and make videos of it. That was the first thing that popped to my mind. Well, most of the stuff that's on that return pallet is not selling on Amazon anymore. There's a reason why it's on this liquidation pallet. And so anyway, those were just some of the stuff, some of the things I learned along the way. But if you are watching this and you're like, man, this sounds really interesting, I want to learn more about it. You've been seeing this little ticker here on the bottom underneath this lower third going through. You can join the community, go to billythorpe.live. You can click there. We have a Facebook group now. We kind of migrated everything to Facebook. It seems like the popular place. for Facebook groups that people wanted. So go jump over there, check it out. I will, answer any questions. Once again, I feel like that group is you can pursue. You can ask anything you want to in the group, and there's some great people over there that will help you. I'll jump in when I can and help. And then if you're like, I really want to take it to the next level, and I want some, one-on-one coaching, I do offer what's called an asynchronous coaching program where it's $97 a month, and you basically have access to me. You have access to engage with me at any time. So we're not doing like, oh, what's your schedule? What's my schedule? Let's jump on an hour Zoom call every week or any of that. It's just like, hey, you got a question, you shoot it over through this app that I use, video, audio, text, and then I can get back to you and give you help as you need it. And it's been really awesome because I can look at your pitch, I can look at your production setup. I've helped people do all kinds of stuff, and some stuff I was, knew I was going to help with, and other stuff I did not know I was going to help with. So, if you're looking for that kind of help, if you really want to grow this business and leverage these platforms like the Amazon influencer platform to work with brands, to do product resell, and to make 4 to 5 different streams of revenue, then I've done this for 4 years now. This is going on I think this year will be my 5th year in the Amazon program, my 4th year, super focused on brand deals, and I am 4 videos away from doing 4,500 videos and about 4,400 or so brand deals. So I got a little bit of experience and can help you out. The game is always changing, and the good thing is I'm in the game. I'm not just some guy who got lucky for 5 minutes and now I'm trying to, teach everybody else how to get lucky. I'm in the mud with you, going through all the changes as well. So, all right, appreciate you watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this stream from the other part of my office that is totally laid back. I'm just on my laptop, got my Osmo Pocket 3, got this microphone, and I've just had a lot of fun. Kind of taking it back old school. I should have plugged in my phone for my camera. That would have been even more like beginner days, but this feels super raw, real, and kind of just chilling. So this was fun. I had a lot of fun. YouTube Shop is going to be big soon, bro. Yeah, YouTube Shop is. Hopefully they'll let the average Joe over there, and you don't have to have a bajillion people following you. That's what I don't understand. It's like these platforms have got to understand there's people with the ability to get on and get results without having this huge audience. We've seen it all the time. I do it all the time. But whatever. Maybe you go follow me on YouTube. If you're following on YouTube. If you're not, hit subscribe. Maybe I'll get to 10K and be able to take part in some of this stuff. Oh, they lowered the number? What did they lower it to? 5,000? Oh, it's 5K. Yeah. Okay. Hey, you know what? I'm a little bit closer. I'm only like 4,900 away on this channel. All right. Appreciate you watching. And hit subscribe since the YouTube thing came up, and we'll talk soon.